p.m. I want to call to order the town of Ayer Zoning Board of Appeal. Wednesday, September 20th, open session meeting. First order of business, to approval of the agenda. Any changes?
I motion to approve the agenda as is.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. First item, public hearing request for variance for David Rogers. Ayer ZBA will conduct a public hearing 6 p.m. on Wednesday, September 20, 2017 at Town Hall, located at 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. Regarding the application by David Rogers, 4 Pierce Ave, Ayer, Mass. Applicant seeks a variance to raise pre-existing non-conforming second dwelling on a lot and replace with larger dwelling, therefore allowing 2 dwelling structures on 1 lot. This is one, yeah, this was previously approved in June of 2015, and the clock's run out, so they're looking to renew it. The purpose is to resubmit for approval with no changes. Stated variances has lapsed in accordance with bylaw 1123D. Yes, sir.
Do we have the findings on that previous approval by the board? Any kind of...
It was approved, no conditions. I can pull the old files, right?
If it's...
In my desk.
I don't think it was
happened. I don't think it was a big deal.
No, it
It'd just be good to know that.
Why don't you guys come forward?
May I approach?
Please.
Hi, Jay Rogers.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you. What questions would you have, sir?
The findings of the last time the board approved this project.
Were there issues?
Dave,
Not that I'm
going to go get that.
It's right
Second
here.
of all, you guys
I have it.
have,
we have 2 dwellings on the lot.
and it's 100 and something acres, right?
No, 18.
Oh, okay,
18 acres. The buildings, the 2 dwellings, the second dwelling that I live in currently was built in 1973 with a approved building permit that we have a copy of.
Yeah.
And we're looking to raise that building,
Okay.
which is under the required 750 square foot area, and in the same footprint, go a little larger and go second 2 floors.
You're going to keep it in the same footprint?
Slightly larger, 8 feet wider.
Does that make it more non-conforming?
Not to my knowledge, it actually takes away one of your non-conformances of being under 750 square feet.
Yeah, but it was a non-conforming to begin with. I didn't know if it was
It was
because
not-
of setback or just because there was 2.
No, just because there were 2 dwellings. So
I will get
the
it.
setbacks are
There's
well
no
within.
issues with the setbacks.
Yeah.
And it's 18 acres?
Yes,
Yeah.
16 of which is in forestry.
I'm sorry, Carly. John just produced these minutes from
Yeah.
2015. Is that what you would have, or did you have?
No, I just have the whole pack and the notice of decision.
Right. Did you want to look at that?
Yeah, go ahead. Thanks, John.
You notice I was not in attendance because that was a month before I joined the board.
The decision reads, while the proposed structure does not represent a significant change to a non-conforming structure, it does correct one issue by increasing the dwelling size above 750 square feet. The new structure will be more attractive and comfortable than the existing. It will also boast improved energy efficiency. The variance is granted. 2 separate dwellings are permitted on the property as indicated.
Thank you. Anybody? Yeah.
Any public input? Okay, make a motion.
I motion to grant the variance to raise a pre-existing non-conforming second dwelling on a lot, replaced with a larger dwelling, thereby allowing 2 dwelling structures.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Motion to close that hearing.
I motion to close the public hearing for 4 Pierce Avenue in Ayer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next is
Main?
Let me get there, John.
This is one main.
One Main Street, next one, right?
14 Washington.
This is one main street.
It's just like
Oh, we're at 1 Main, sorry, I was
Yeah.
not far enough.
So it's 14 Washington Street. Okay. All right.
Right, okay.
All right, Ayer ZBA will conduct a public hearing 6:15 PM, Wednesday, September 20th, Ayer Town Hall. What?
Sam, sorry. We have to wait till 6:15.
Seriously?
Yeah, we do. Sorry. We could approve minutes if you want.
That's gonna take a while.
That'll kill 30 seconds or so.
All right.
can revise the as is.
Oh,
No, I don't think so, because it's times are published.
I
Yeah.
had a question. On the appeal of our decision at the last meeting on Solar 2?
Yeah.
Any updates?
The-
Take your time.
Yeah, so the applicant is still going forth with site plan review, though they don't agree that they need it. And they are keeping the appeal open, but if they're, from what I understand, comfortable with the site plan review, they'll then withdraw the appeal.
When's the site plan review?
They have to open the
October.
hearing tomorrow night.
Yeah. No, I thought it was October.
No, site plan, to open the hearing for their site plan on Solar 2 is tomorrow night. Here at 6:15. So they have 90 days from tomorrow, assuming they open the hearing to get through that process.
Will they have a quorum?
We are hopeful that they'll have a quorum.
They didn't last time.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And they're down one anyways.
Yep, they are, yeah. So they gotta declare a vacancy and then do a joint appointment at some point, so.
Have a candidate?
No, because we gotta put it out and advertise it. Not that I'm aware of.
So we don't face a threat of jail time or anything like that?
No, no one's gonna put you in jail. Maybe, though, well, as I say.
Yeah, maybe you, she says.
No, I was thinking maybe Alan could give a brief history on the project. It's just informational, it's not. Yeah, do you want to do that? Alan can give a little overview of the town putting the project out to bid.
What project?
This one, the fire station.
We're back to the fire station?
That's 14 Washington Street. Yeah, so we can wait to open the hearing, but Alan, if you want to give some background, since you love to do that.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, feel like 5 minutes tops.
You don't want to give me the hook, huh? 7 minutes. Oh, fine, thank you. Yeah, actually, oh yeah, if you want, there we go.
Yep.
It is. Well, thank you, and through you, Mr. Chairman, for the record, Alan Menoyan, Director of Community and Economic Development. The historic 1934 Ayer Central Fire Station, designed by the father of modern fire station design, George Ernest Robinson, graduate of MIT, a national treasure. So the fire stations, we know we built our new fire station. This station, again, which was built in 1934, went vacant. And my goodness, I have an extraordinary, probably 4-foot-high stack of files and memos from the many years of the Fire Station Reuse Committee. Many individuals through the years just, trying to find a path to what to do, how to approach the disposition of this property. And you saw the full gamut of folks saying, just demolish it, make it a parking lot, which is what we do not need in downtown Ayer. That's how we're destroying our downtown economy. Some folks said, keep it for municipal property. Others said, no, let's get it out, into the private sector, redevelop it. So we did issue an RFP. Some were issued prior to my being here by the previous director. Had some success, but really didn't come through. We got here, we issued the first RFP
RFP in what context?
Yes, a request for proposals.
I know, I know what
Yeah,
RFP
I'm
is.
sorry, yes, to seeking interested parties to acquire and redevelop the property. So for acquisition and redevelopment. But what we wanted to see was a redevelopment. First of all, the building was most important to have it preserved. It is one of the most important heritage resources and structures, in the town of Ayer, and again, Massachusetts. So we wanted to find someone who's going to treat really the exterior properly, and then see what good concepts came, and everything from mixed use, which is always, the best in downtown, but really going residential. This is how you bring downtown economies back, by making it a place that people want to live, 24 hours a day. And especially, we positioned it for a lifestyle where you would have people, young professionals who are commuting into Boston on our commuter rail. By the way, it is exactly a 3-minute walk from the front door of that building to our commuter rail station, a 3-minute walk. So, we put the RFPs out. The first round we got out, we just had one respondent, and that person offered $1,000. And they could not assure that they would redevelop it, and it might end up being demolished. And so we said, let's wait. The Board of Selectmen thankfully granted me, said, give it another try. We reissued the RFP, and this time we had 3 very good respondents, and actually a 4th who made an error in the timing and missed the submission date. So we had good interest. And then we had a good review committee go through those proposals, and the proposal that really rose to the top was that submitted by C. Donnell Homes Incorporated, and their concept is to go forward and redevelop it as a really, what we call a new urbanist downtown residential property. And I think they're proposing, I believe, 7 residential units, and we're so very pleased. And again, they would be acquiring it, meaning now it goes on the tax rolls. They're going to make a very substantial investment in this property. Probably we're getting close to, close to $1 million, or maybe a little less. Don't freak out if I said that number. And again, it's something that is going to be, we think, the talk of the region as it's being redeveloped. And the thing that's most important, it's going to be a catalyst to really show, frankly, the market confidence in downtown. Now, downtown's very strong. We have a lot of folks saying, boy, maybe this is the place to really invest. And this is what's going to really trigger a lot of market confidence, and others saying, my goodness, let's get into downtown Ayer, because what we really want to see from something like this is, I'm sorry?
Condominiums?
No, I believe that these will be rental units. Yes, good apartments, good quality apartments, which is what's needed, by the way. We need this type of, this is it. And this is going to be really hip. Hey, I would have loved to have been 25 years old, had a hip apartment here, and go on a date and say, let's go back to my place, guys. You know where I live? I live in this cool little historic fire station, man. That's cool. I never lived in a cool place like that when I was that age. So again, it just has good potential. It's going to, we think, again, lead to a more infill development in the downtown, and just showing that the future of downtowns is not what we think of, I just want to pull up there in my car, I got to find a parking spot in front of where I'm going, it's going to run in and out, get out of boom. No. Downtown is a place that's an 18-hour economy. We live there, we linger there, we socialize here, and this is what this project's actually going to deliver. So, there it is. See that?
Yeah.
Time. And I believe every word of that. Sorry. Okay.
I know.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay.
Now, Ayer ZBA will conduct a public hearing at 6:15 p.m. on Wednesday, September 20th at the Ayer Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. regarding the application by C. Donald Homes for property located at 14 Washington Street, Ayer, Mass. The applicant seeks variances from the following: 3.3.2 to allow residential use on street level, 3.3.2.1D1, and 5.12 to allow residential use on approximately 9,870 square feet where 10,000 square feet is required. 5.9 to allow living units to have not less than 700 square feet where 750 is required. Yeah. Everything's posted the same. Please.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. My name is Tom Gibbons, and I represent C. Homes, Inc. And with me tonight is Conrad Donnell, who's the president of C. Homes, and his daughter Kelsey, who works closely with him. So, thank you, Alan. Alan did a great job of some of the history that I might have covered, but I won't now. So we are asking for 3 variances. And in the downtown business district, apartments are allowed over commercial space, but they're not allowed generally on the street level. So our first request is to allow residential on the street level. Now, I'm also saying, in addition to that, allowing residential in the whole building, because there's some question about whether if you don't have commercial under, can you have residential over. So just to be safe, we're saying we're asking to allow residential use in the entire building. In addition, under the bylaw, residential use in this district requires 10,000 square feet. We have 9,870 square feet. And finally, we're asking for the unit sizes to be not less than 700 square feet. So as the board knows from probably your own experience and what Alan has told us today, for many years this place has been empty and it's deteriorating quickly. If you look to the left there, and if you're out there in person, you can see right into the building from the fascia boards there. So it really needs to be rehabbed pretty soon if it's going to have any value. We're looking to redevelop this building into 8 or 9 residential units. The access to the downtown and the train station makes this very attractive for residential development. And it's a tough building. The town has been trying to do something with it for many years, and clearly the market isn't there for a commercial use. Otherwise, someone would have come about and used it for that. In order to rehab the building and make it viable, I think the variances that we're requesting are necessary. It would create a hardship if the variances weren't granted on the town or any private owner. Our agreement is that we will purchase the property, but it is contingent upon obtaining the variances.
There's enough space in that building, you can get 5,400 square feet of living space out of it?
There is. We have some conceptual plans
Really?
by an architect, and they have confirmed that we can do it.
It's very deceiving from the street.
Oh, yeah.
Scale the building. Once you get in it, you realize how much space is in it. It's deceiving from the street.
Yeah, I think that photo probably is most helpful, because when you're looking at it, you don't realize the
the
section
depth.
behind it.
Right.
Yeah, I've never really looked at the building,
Yeah.
other than the face of it. It's not
Which is
that
much to
big.
look at.
Okay.
So, again, I think that the variances can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good. I think this would be a benefit for the public good, not only in the immediate area, but in the town. Having residential homes or units in this area certainly is helpful for the downtown businesses that are on Main Street. And I think the idea behind the bylaw is that you don't necessarily want residential on street level because you don't want to take away that commercial space, that
Commercial
storefront
space,
space. But as I say, recent history has shown us that there isn't a market for that
We
in this
did
particular.
do
I was
one,
just going to say that.
we did one on
Was
the
it-
corner of Washington and Main Street, the one behind,
Oh, you know what? Maybe it was Washington.
Oh,
It was-
Pleasant.
Yeah, the bonnet.
Yeah.
Pleasant Street,
We did that.
behind the,
Fletcher building.
Fletcher Building, yeah.
Where the hair salon is.
Right.
We did this one.
In the back. Behind
we
it.
had, there was
This
a
one.
preliminary, we had.
We did
looked at
this one.
I think you did grant similar relief to another applicant who I don't know what happened, but it didn't. They didn't end up purchasing the property.
GS Golden.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah,
was-
yeah.
So if we can answer any questions, but we are requesting that the.
Yeah,
Okay, so
they didn't get into the level of detail that he has, because they hadn't even talked about, we just got into a discussion about preliminary apartments, and because there was a parking questions.
but we got past it.
Yeah,
So that was what I was gonna ask is, I don't remember how many units that one was.
6, I thought.
That was 6, now we're talking 7, and we had a real issue with the
7 or
parking at
8 or
6.
9.
We're looking at 8 to 9, but I can answer the parking issue.
Please.
So parking, we're not required to increase the parking under what's already there. I met with Building Inspector Charlie Schultz, went over the bylaw with him, and in downtown business district, there isn't a parking requirement to, in addition to what's already there, so that's not
Well, yeah,
a
but
requirement.
that's for commercial use.
Well, that's for the district.
And we're trying to work around the district right now. When we first looked at this, you're right, when we first looked at this with these people, parking was an issue, and what they had proposed, the abutters had issue with the excess parking.
Yeah.
When you have, I think, or even our bylaw says you have to have a certain amount of parking for,
1.5 per unit.
what is it, 1.5 per unit?
So
Yeah,
if I can just grab my
Please.
zoning book.
But we can look that up real easy.
And because, I'm thinking right across from this building on the corner of Washington and Main, I know there's at least an 8-family there.
Yeah,
And I mean, there's literally no parking there. They don't even have parking. Now, granted,
yeah,
It's already-
I remember the discussions we had, it was primarily about the,
their
So
proposed
the
parking
residents-
is different.
their proposed parking plan was different. They were talking about
Removing the carriage house was one.
the wings are going, and they were going to pave on both sides. But part of the discussion was that they were intending on assigning parking for the individual apartments. That was going to be one of the prerequisites for the,
So strictly from a marketing perspective, a business marketing perspective, parking is obviously important, but we comply with the parking, and even under this use, we comply with the parking. So we're not looking for any relief, we're not required to get any relief, and I don't say
I
that.
need to check that, because
Well,
I believe when we looked at it last time, I believe it came up at 1.5 per unit.
But the issue last time also was there was not a full-time building commissioner. I don't think vetting the plans, and they were very conceptual at one point. This is more defined. Just, I don't know if Gabe maybe had a different interpretation, but I just so you know, checked it through with Charlie, the parking issue, because I remember it was an issue.
Well, I think it's stated in here.
I can point it out, and I was surprised, because I did look at the other application, and I was surprised by their application asking for parking relief because it didn't apply. They also asked for some setback relief, which didn't apply. But if you go to section 6.1, it's page 73.
Who said the parking doesn't?
Well, I respectfully say it because I've
I
looked at
thought
the
you said
bylaw.
somebody told you that.
Oh, no, I was surprised that they had requested parking relief because it's not needed in this, and I say that based on the bylaw, not just my own opinion.
And the building commissioner had told you that it wasn't applicable.
Right,
in
we
this
met, we went over it.
sense.
So if you look at section 6.1, second paragraph, so it says, "For downtown business districts only, no additional off-street parking is required for the following," and we're section A, "continued use or reuse of existing buildings as long as that use or reuse does not increase the usable floor area within the building." We're not proposing any additions, so the floor area is remaining the same. Now, I was on the planning board in 98 through almost 2000, and I don't know if it changed then, but I know there was discussion back then when I was on the board, and the idea was, my recollection of it was that in the downtown district, we have what we have, and if you want to have, at the time, if we were looking to have buildings rehabbed, then you ought not put require additional parking that's going to prevent people from investing in these properties. But as I say, Charlie and I sat down, went over it. I think the language is clear, and he certainly agreed. But I will say I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Obviously, we want to be able to rent these apartments and have people willing to rent them. And parking's clearly an issue for some people. We're close to the train. We are in discussions with trying to acquire a small piece of property that's in the general area that would allow us for parking. But again, that's more of a,
So what are you planning as of now for parking?
well, what's there, we'll utilize what's there for parking.
So you have no parking on the other side of the building or behind the building?
I don't believe there's any intended, no.
So how many parking spaces exist now?
Looks to me like about 6.
You could fit 9 cars there.
And again, I think sort of what Alan kind of highlighted, for me at least, is that this is, especially if they're going to be rental units, the kind of place that's perfect for a commuter. I mean, 3 minutes to the train might even be a minute longer than I think it would take to walk to the train. But not the parking, like Tom said, is it's marketable, absolutely, but this is the perfect location for somebody who's going to take the train into Boston or Cambridge or something like that.
If we're looking to do an addition and add habitable floor space, then yes, we would have to generate, we'd have to show you that we can create parking to cover that additional floor space.
Are they going to change the look of the building?
So I don't know that,
What construction are we talking about?
generally, no. I mean, it's obviously going to look a little different than that, but the big thing is the gable ends, the slate roof, and the top part is going to stay the same.
The left wing, it's got that red,
That wood thing?
Right there.
it's not even wood, it's like styrofoam.
Right, that was
Oh,
an
yeah.
add-on thing.
We're going to be taking all of that off, and then we're coming up with some type of material, some type of siding that'll blend better with the brick.
Are you going to replace that area, or is it you going to make it flush to the brick? What do you do with that space?
That space right there, that'll be 2 apartments down there with a set of stairs
Okay.
that'll be going up to the second.
You're just going to change the exterior.
Pardon me?
You're just going to change the exterior.
Just that wing on the left and the one on the right is the one total to the right side. It's got a brick facade in the front, but the side of it has got just a metal. So we're gonna come up with something that blends better into the brick that fits, the theme of the building a little bit better than that.
What's that?
Public input.
What will you be doing with the big bay doors?
Bay doors, the 2 main doors, we're going back to what the original doors used to look like. So we're going to make an insert in there
Carriage?
that makes the doors look.
Carriage doors?
They're not going to be entrance doors.
Well, no, I mean, it's a facade, but they're carriage style.
Yeah, they were a hinge door back in the
Right.
day.
We have the original photographs from '34.
So we want to take them main doors and make that facade look like the original part of it was. That door right there that you see, that was added on right there. That's going to be taken out, put the window back into place. It's got a precast concrete set of steps, which kind of doesn't really fit the building. So we're going to try to bring back that main building, redo all the trim. We're going to redo the cupola, do a lot of brick repair. So it's going to be an extensive remodel.
For me, I think, again, when this came up last time, the issue, like you had mentioned, John, was parking, which I think they've addressed today. And I think at that time, too, one of the bigger issues we had with public input was that they were going to be removing, I think at that time, they were going to be, if you're looking at the building, that ambulance bay to the left,
Yes.
that was going to be removed. And with parking, you would have had headlights pointing at someone's house. I think that was an issue at the time.
No, if I remember right, what public input at the time, they were saying that this building damn near butts up to somebody's house. So they were trying to figure out how they were going to do this without disturbing the abutters.
Through the construction process?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that, I suppose, could be a legitimate
Well,
concern
it
for the neighbors,
was
but-
a concern, but we heard the abutters, and the major discussion with the abutters again was the parking issue, because they were all saying, well, we can't park on the street, and the parking lot across the street is full all the time. So parking is a premium, obviously.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
So for us,
If you have addressed it, you've taken it through the building commission, and I saw
Right.
the sign off on the sheet.
right.
There was no stipulations on anything about parking. There was no stipulations on anything. So I think what we have to address, I understand what your concern was.
Now there's 3 more units.
That's true, but by the same token, it's a little more detailed and a little more defined now than it was before. Before it was, if memory, it was a combined space at the time. There was retail and, yeah,
I don't
both.
call retail.
Mr. Chair, we never got a clear picture because they gave us a couple different concepts. And 6 was a number they thought, but then they also thought maybe they could get up to 8 or 9 spots in there. But I think what happened was, again, it was a transition period for this board. We didn't have a full-time building commissioner looking at it. And I think the interpretation from the former attorney representing the former applicant, like Tom said, we looked back later, they didn't need setback relief, they didn't need parking relief. So I think there's more sets of eyes on the whole application this time than prior. I think that's a fair
yes,
assessment.
yeah.
So I guess, let's back up and look at this for a minute. To summarize it, we have to decide, as a ZBA, if you can allow residential use on the street level. That's question 1. Number 2 would be the size of the apartments. And number 3 would be the lot size. That's what we need to look at.
So I think that we addressed the first floor living space in our last decision,
Yes.
and we had no problem with it.
That's correct.
I don't know what the difference in the size of these units compared to the first units.
They didn't even say, no, we never got that
We just
far.
had renderings of
But-
3 or 4.
So what we have to look at is the town's bylaw says 750 square feet per apartment, and they're asking for 700. 50 square feet is 5 by 10.
My personal feeling is if you had less apartments, you'd have longer-term tenants.
Well,
But that's just my own personal thing. It's probably really got nothing
hypothetically,
to do with this.
you have if you look at the economics, 6 might not pay off, where 8 would support the project. It's a
And this
return
is
on
going to be
investment.
a costly
Well,
project.
that's.
But again, I know that's not something we're going to
That's not
discuss.
something,
so I don't,
that's not.
I don't want to
You're
discuss
right.
the economics of it because it doesn't make sense to go over that right now. But, I mean, this,
It's
like Alan said, we had one other application or RFP, last, it was $1,000, and it's essentially to raise it and make it parking lot.
Does the 9,870 square feet versus 10,000 doesn't give me any heartburn at all.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with the 700 versus the 750. I think that's a marginal exchange.
Mr. Chairman, if I can just say something, 750 is a large unit, and I don't know if the planning board's considering lowering that in their bylaw.
I'm not sure.
But
No,
at one
I
point,
understand, I had, my apartment in New Jersey was 600 and I had 20.
right, it is very large. It's been that way as long as I've been in town. Maybe it's an original. But the interesting thing is that we had looked at getting some grant money. And one of the requirements, and Alan might be able to speak to this, was that in one of the grants, it was that no unit be less than 700 square feet. So,
That's the United States U.S. Department of HUD standard, which is a good federal standard. And if I just have one thing, we are in the age now of the hottest units now in urban areas are now micro units.
Yeah.
Young people in 20s now are living in units very comfortably, believe it or not, that are 500 square feet, that are 350 square feet. 700 square feet today is actually quite ample in this type of urban high-quality redevelopments.
I think public input.
Do we have public input? Name?
My name is Kim, and I live in the backyard.
Last
No
name.
on Pleasant Street.
Last name?
Pearl. Pearl.
Okay.
So the previous people wanted to put it back to its original, which I think what you're doing, or want to do is great. but the original people from previous wanted to take off both sides in the back to make it the original fire station. So if I understand, you're gonna keep the sides in the back correctly? Because that was part of the original. And then you want 8 apartments, because that's 16 parking spots. Gotta say at least 2, and you don't, it's not there. When I come home from work at 3, I can't even park on my street. I mean, I'd love to see something there. I really would. It's falling apart. It sits right in my backyard. It sits in Washington Street. Chuck's right there. I just don't see the parking. And the Federated, you know, that's a private parking. I mean, I'd love to see something go there. I wouldn't stop it. I just don't think there's room for enough cars.
By law, there is.
I'm sure, I mean, I don't know, when you
I
told me
can't debate
700
that.
feet was 8 by 10, I'm shocked.
Black and white. It's non-negotiable, that part. The stipulation was you'll have X amount of parking and it's there. We can't ask for something we can ask, but, you know.
And as I say, we're aware of that. I mean, if we're renting out spaces and there's not a spot to park, then you're gonna limit the pool of people that will want to rent from you. So we're aware of that. We're trying to do something about that. But respectfully, it's not part of the, we comply with the bylaw.
Yes, I understand it. That was
So you're
part of the
talking
public
about
input.
keeping both sides in the back, correct?
The wings will stay, yes. There'll be a little work done to it, as Mr. Canal said, but yes, they stay.
Yes, sir.
To take the wings down at this point of that building, it doesn't make sense. The walls in the interior have been knocked down, you know, of the original building. So now you'd have both the left and the right wall completely opened up. So it's kind of really, it just doesn't make sense. You know, I think you're better off, you know, revising what you have and using what you have. Because the left side, that whole interior wall, the whole brick has been taken out, which would have been the exterior wall of the original building.
Right.
So how do you replace that?
Other than brick by brick, you can't.
Well, even if you put brick back, it's still going to be a patch job, basically.
Right.
And so it kind of, it doesn't make sense to go back to that route, you know, so.
Understood. Yes, sir?
Hi, my name is John Byrne. I own the property at 24 Washington Street, 3 doors down. It's my first hearing about this. I got a notice in the mail. And I was just curious, so there's 8 units is the plan to go in the building?
That's what we hear.
Okay. The parking is, where all the cars parking in the back of the property, or on Washington Street side, or both? Is there a parking plan or something?
So we're gonna we get about 9 spots on the property as it is. And then, again, as I mentioned before, we're looking for other options for parking. But we'll live with, you know, if we can't do anything, we're obviously gonna live within our 9 spots, and that means we'll probably be renting to people that ride the train and the bike. That's not our
Okay, so
goal.
the plan is to park 9 cars on the property, and is it all on the front of Washington Street, or is it gonna be
Yes.
all in front there?
You know, fortunately, it's a beautiful building, but we have what we have. There's no real practical ability to expand, you know, because you know it's fully developed in that area.
Nowhere to go.
We just went through the approved projects. Tom was our attorney. They gave us a hard time on parking at that one. We tried to make it a 4-family. They wouldn't allow us to. We had to go back to the board again and make it turn into a 3-family. It should have been 4-family, would be fine. They wouldn't allow us to park 8 parking spots. We had 6 already. We're just trying to get 2 more. I'm all for fixing up this property because you know we have a vested interest in the neighborhood. We spent a lot of money on 24 Washington Street. We want to see it really nice. So my only concern is
You're outside of the downtown zone, is that what I'm hearing? So that's why the
24
parking.
Washington's right on the corner of Cambridge Street and Washington Street.
So you're outside the downtown zone. It's not the same requirements.
I'm not saying it is. I live 3 doors down from the
I understood.
house. Yeah. Well, I don't live there. I own the property 3 doors down. And like I said, I'm
want to see the property fixed up and developed. I think it'd be great. It looks like a beautiful, a lot of potential with that building. And 9 isn't as bad as 16. This was what I was thinking originally.
I never heard that number.
Well, I'm just doing 2 parking spots per apartment. That's what
Oh,
makes
you're
a
talking
lot
about parking spots?
Yeah. All right.
They're talking about apartments. Alan?
Just might help. In terms of downtown development, now, 2017 going forward, all downtowns now, anywhere, if you look at anyone's zoning ordinances, towns and cities, everyone now mostly is down to 1 space per unit in downtowns. Frankly, most downtowns now are going to a place where they're not requiring any on-site parking for a variety of reasons. This is the direction it's going, but the most important thing that we have to do, this is going to be market-driven. If it's not working out, and we're doing this anyway, we're starting this process in downtown anyway, we're going to start developing shared parking arrangements. In other words, we all know, during the day, you look back here on Newton Street, the parking lot for the bank is filled. You have commuters parking on this street, and by the way, we are building a new parking deck, I don't know. So all the commuters that are parked on Pleasant Street all day and on Newton Street will now be parking over on our, that we're spending $3+ million on. They're getting off that street over here out of this neighborhood. That's why you all went to that heck for the last 20 years, right, to do this. Secondly, we're going to start working, if you look at, say, the bank, by about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that bank parking lot is empty all day until 8 o'clock the next morning. This is where I've done this for years in downtowns. If these folks, if it's good, that they might be able to work out, we would. Shared parking arrangements in the evenings. And this is how you do it in downtown. Downtown either all works together or it doesn't work at all. So that's why you share space and you come to these arrangements. And what it does is, as you said, it ends up uplifting and upvaluing everything in downtown. So we're going to soon, we're getting close in America to get past this obsession with, I need this massive parking lot, and I really believe that who's going to be looking for this lifestyle product are probably going to be young professional people geared towards the commuter rail. Every 20-something I talk to now, they literally tell me, never mind cars, I don't want to own 1 car. They are actually trying to get a lifestyle so they don't come, which is the opposite of what I grew up doing. All I want is as many cars as I can get. Now, they don't want cars, they don't want televisions, it's a lifestyle change. And they want to live in urban environments, and that's where this is going. And it's finally hitting here in our downtown. It's a lifestyle change.
Any other input?
So if this all gets approved, or when it gets all approved, when would this construction all start?
I have no idea.
There.
We'll be doing the demo inside the building through the winter, and then finalizing our plans. So we'll probably really get gearing next spring, summertime. So we hope it'll probably take about 1.5 years to do the whole building.
Any others? Michael?
Well, I mean, I think, again, my last 2 cents here is that, first off, if we're going to address the parking, which we don't have to address, but the Nadells have come already with something in mind, potentially to address that. So, and I can appreciate parking concerns. I'm a 20-something and I have a car, so there are 20-somethings with cars.
Still exist.
But exactly, but I appreciate they've come here already with a contingency with that in mind. In terms of everything else that we're actually going to go over tonight, like we talked about, we'd already granted the variance before for the residential on the first floor. I think we're all in agreement that in this case specifically, the 9870 where the 10,000 required is
Yes.
and then with the 700 as opposed to the 750. Again, I agree with you. I think it's minimal.
Okay.
And again, this building, we've already gone through it once before with it. I think these folks have taken it in a more serious light than the last group. I'm all for it, and I think it's again one way to keep this building in town and not have it be a auxiliary parking lot.
Yes.
Complete agreement. This building doesn't have much longer of a lifespan to be rehabilitated, and it is in architectural traction, and it seems reasonable to me. I also would think down the road, once the parking structure is built.
I think that issue is going to go away.
Right, and even something creative in the neighborhood could be done, maybe with parking stickers for neighborhood or something. But I don't think it's a stoppable issue, so.
Ron?
I would have been more comfortable with the original, just appearance-wise and all that, to take down that left side of that addition. But as Mr. Donnell has explained, the wall is missing, the original wall is missing, and probably would drive it out of economic possibility of, it just would not be economically feasible than to reconstruct that wall and lose the space. I mean, it would have helped to loosen up this parking problem, because you might have been able to park on that where that building is, but it's really out of.
Alan does have a valid point about the parking lot we're putting in.
Mm-hmm.
It's 180 spots. Is that what the number was I heard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of cars. It's a lot of cars.
Yeah, and thanks for taking us through this. It gives us an out anyway, and normally we'd like to stick to the stuff as much as stick to our zoning bylaws as strictly as possible. Yeah. So I have no other objections to this.
John, what do you think?
I think I would make a motion to approve.
All three?
Absolutely, as written.
Seconded, somebody?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Make a motion to close that hearing.
I motion to close the public hearing for C&L Homes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right.
We ran a little bit over on that one, sorry. Next one is CBA will conduct a public hearing at 6:30 p.m. Sorry for the delay. Wednesday, September 20th at Ayer Town Hall on Main Street regarding the application of Gibby 5 LLC, 15 Fitchburg Road. Applicant seeks a special permit to convert existing structure from a commercial use to a single-family dwelling pursuant to their bylaw 2009-3322C and finding pursuant to section 4.3.4B.
Mr. Chairman, I've been advised that I have to recuse myself.
I understand.
Good evening again, board members. My name is Tom Gibbons, and I represent Gibby 5 LLC, which happens to be an LLC that I own. So through the LLC, I own this property. The premises that we're talking about is on the left-hand side. It's the existing house lot, which is 10,000 square feet.
Where, I don't know where this is. Where
Right
is
across from the motel.
You know where the
Oh.
graphics
And the Heads Up Hair Salon.
used to be?
Yep, okay.
Yellow.
Okay.
That's right. It's a yellow building. So the hash mark on that was a mortgage.
So Tiny's is over here.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 doors down.
Okay.
Yes. So it's the 10,000 square foot lot, and that would be the lot in the middle of the plan on the right that says C. Donnell Homes, Inc. And yes, I happened to purchase this in 2007 from Mr. Donnell, that we just were talking about. I'm seeking a special permit to convert this to a single-family home. So in the bylaw, in this district, single-family homes are allowed by special permit. So special permit is different than a variance.
Right.
Special permit says it's an allowed use in this district, but for whatever particular reason, it needs to be looked at by the board. And in my opinion, based on reading the purpose of this district, I would say that, again, it's our district, this general business district, was designed for, and I'm looking for my language here, big lot businesses. So just find the section here.
Well, which one is this? It's not on the application,
What district are we in?
yeah.
We're in
Page
general
2.
business,
Page 2.
which
Oh, no, they
is,
didn't circle.
No, they didn't circle it.
Yeah.
it's the general business district.
Okay.
That's my fault, I guess, for not circling it. And so general business district is 3.3.2.2. And when you look at the purpose behind it, the general business district will contain businesses or uses which include auto-oriented uses that require larger lot sizes, high-volume traffic generators that are not appropriate for other business districts. So my gut feeling is, when we adopted zoning in, I think, 72 in there, a lot of these lots already existed. This home predates zoning. And so they put the allowed use in there by way of a special permit to protect those smaller lots. Fully abutting this property is all residential. I'm talking about directly abutting. So on the standing in Fitchburg Road, to the left is a home.
Yeah,
To the left of that home is the Family Dollar.
right.
To the right of is a single-family home. To the back, I think it goes up to the street, but
Yeah,
on
there's
either
that
side.
circle back there.
Well, it's a little bit further down.
So when I looked at it, if I hadn't read that it was a business, I wouldn't have known.
Exactly.
Because it looks like a small home with a two-car detached garage. And when I saw the business, I said, well, maybe somebody's running a business out of their home.
You're right. I mean, it was a home. I think in 1986, I know in 1986 it was an appliance store. Mr. Donnell had run an appliance store. I don't know if he was the first to convert it to a commercial use before my time here. But I bought it in 2007 with the idea that I would move my office from West Main Street to that location. My lease at West Main Street was up in October of 2011, so I bought it when I had the opportunity. In 2010, I realized that the number of employees I had, we wouldn't fit into that building. There was a tenant there, the hairdresser. The other half of the building was used by Mr. Donnell for his construction company. So from 2007 until 2010, I couldn't find anybody to occupy that other space. In 2010, I purchased 21 Park Street, and Graphax moved from 21 Park Street down to that other half.
Because I know Graphax was up
Yeah,
the street.
and that's how she ended up there.
Yeah, so,
In 2014, she left, and I put the property on the market at some point in 2014. 2015, the hairdresser left. I've had it listed for a long time with 2 different realtors. I've had it listed for sale by owner. I have spread by word of mouth.
as a business.
And I see a lot of people that, if you want to buy it.
But
or
I mean, it
lease
was, you marketed as
As
a
commercial.
business,
Yes, commercial space.
not a residential home.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So,
That's why I didn't say.
yes, and both realtors told me that, look, you may have better luck if someone could occupy that as a home and run a business on the abutting property, the big garage, maybe that's true, but I have to do something. I haven't been able to get a tenant in there. I haven't been able to sell the property, and for more than 3 years, it's been empty.
And it's okay on all the setbacks and everything, there's no other variance, right?
No, so the appearance of the building will not change one bit. The only change to the exterior of the building might be that I would put a door, instead of on the left, that's a door that leads out to a handicap ramp, well, far left, where it says deck. So that's a handicap ramp that went into the hairdresser. That would likely become a bedroom, so I might put a door off what I would make the kitchen into the backyard, but you wouldn't even see that from the road. But there's no plan for any addition, so what you see there, other than sprucing it up a bit, isn't going to change.
But we're looking at the garage itself being turned into a...
So the garage is on a separate lot and a separate use. It's a legally existing separate.
Yeah.
That was built, I think, in.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure when it was built. It was probably in the late '80s. But again, it's a legal separate lot, and that will. I'm using it for storage for my business, so that'll just stay the same.
So when somebody buys that house, they don't get that lot?
They do not get the lot A. that's shown on that mortgage plot plan now.
Does that not become a non-conforming
No,
piece of
that
property
was,
again, just a garage?
so that lot, that garage when it was built was a conforming lot at the time. 5,000 square feet, I guess, was required when that was built. I looked into that. And so so now it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot, the garage lot of 5,000
It was
square feet.
conforming then, but not now.
Not now,
Correct.
right.
So I guess that doesn't have
Has
any
no effect on
effect
the
on what
house,
we're
no.
doing?
Right.
No, no.
Okay.
Only thing you want to do is change it from a business to a residence.
So single-family residential. I had thought at one time about coming in and seeking permission for 2 units, but it just wouldn't be conducive to 2. If you go inside the building, you could easily convert it to a single-family. I mean, right now, it's open, but you can see the layout. I mean, it was a
It looks like a
single-family home.
single-family home.
Yeah, right,
People driving by wouldn't know it's a business.
right.
Okay.
And it does, it has a house on both sides of it.
Yeah.
And what I would say is, too, that as a residence, it's going to generate less traffic than the commercial space that was there or whatever might go there in the future. So I would think that it would be, make the abutters.
Whatever traffic a business in that location would mean nothing compared to the supermarket and.
True.
And
Coffee
the dollar
shop and everything else
store.
across the street.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Public input, anyone?
I'm right next to him. I'm at 11 Fitchburg Road, and right now it's an apartment house. It looks like a regular house, but it's an apartment house. My concern only was that I didn't know what you were going to do with the garage, whether you were going to keep it or if you were going to put that up for sale too. And he's going to residential, and it's considered commercial land there, correct? So say someday I wanted to sell it as a commercial property, is that going to be an issue if they're all turning into residential?
Your property?
Yes.
No, if your property is commercial now, it's not going to change
Okay.
the
Underlying district
the
doesn't
district
change.
doesn't change. I mean, what we're giving them is permission to use it as a residence, sell it as a residential, because you can't do it in a business.
Right.
So that's all we're doing. That's all we're looking at.
And what was your name?
Sherry Richard?
So I'm confused, what you're in,
I'm right next to him, yeah. I'm 11 Fitchburg Road.
And that's a business?
It's an apartment house.
Three-family, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was multifamily. That's why I said it was residential, I was wrong, it's not residential on both sides.
Oh, it is
Residential on one side.
No, it is residential on both sides. So to the left is a single-family home. To the right is their home, which is actually 3 units. It looks like a single family, but it's 3 units.
But it's not
residential,
commercial.
it's commercial.
No,
It's
residential.
an income-producing residential property.
But it's
used as residential,
not
but it's
commercial.
income-producing.
Not-
Right.
It's not a
On
commercial
our
property.
tax rolls, it's listed as a residential, not a commercial or
So-
industrial use.
You can't sell it as commercial. You can try.
But his is considered commercial then?
Well,
Right now it is?
I don't like to put my foot where it doesn't belong, but what I would say is these properties are underlying commercial, so they could be, I'm not giving legal advice, but yes, that property, your property is commercial district, it could be sold commercially. You know, you're going to find someone who wants to convert it to a use, but it would be on the scope of my application. But
Right.
Really,
So-
let's not go beyond
Yeah.
that. Let's not complicate it.
All right, yeah, keep it simple. Make a motion.
I make a motion that we approve for the special permit to convert the existing structure from commercial use to a single-family home.
And the finding pursuant to 434,
Yes, sir.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Who seconded that?
I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry.
thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
And you.
Thank you.
He'll be- yeah. He'll be really quick.
All right. Make motion we close that hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next on the agenda, approval of minute meeting for July 19th.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of July 19 as written.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. All right. Next meeting is October 18th at 6 PM.
Do we have any applicants here, brother?
Not yet. There's a couple pending, but they haven't done it.
We haven't heard anything from both up next to the Ford dealer. have we? All right. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.